with Shakin' Bacons. So I'm back. I decided that we are going to try to accomplish some of the arm patches today, at least one of them, one side, see how it goes. So I got my orange thread in there, it looks pretty cool. I'm gonna use my test jersey, slow it down a little bit. So in this particular one, we are going to use the peak stitch because I love the way it looks on the arms. Oh yeah, it's tight. So when you gotta understand how these machines work. And it took me about 2 weeks to realize how to put the understitch in there, how to properly get the tension on that little baby. So it takes a little bit. So slow down, learn, don't be in a rush. Like everything will come out in the end okay. So I am going to, I got my patches here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the orange portions first to the patch itself. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to iron on the patches and then stitch the black part onto the jersey. And sometimes what I'll do with the big numbers is I'll go through and, oh yeah, it looks good, Oh, it's okay, got it under there a little bit. Let's get snip that, and I'll be able to pull through the rest with the seam ripper, no problem. So what I'll be able to do is when I put on the big guys, to go through and reinforce those to the jerseys itself. The arm patches are such a pain in the butt with the small spaces that I typically will do this. So I'll reinforce beforehand, and then I will just do the outside layers. I mean, it's not like the arms receive too much wear and tear. I remember one of my first jerseys, I went to one of the kids' soccer games, and I just ironed on. I was like, okay, maybe I don't need the reinforcement of stitching, but I sat in the hot sun for about 2 hours, and when I got up, the Nikolai Hobby Bullen numbers had come right off of the jersey. I was like, oh, well, okay, here we go. And of course, any pond hockey jersey I put together, it's got to be reinforced. Oops, got on the black a little bit, no worries. No worries. So you can see I made a little mistake there where I went too far into the black. That's okay. This one's my jersey. It's not for somebody. So I'll just leave it. I don't mind leaving it because it makes it my own jersey, Shows that nobody's perfect. Just keep on going. If I did, I would stop, get the seam ripper out, pop that little baby out, and pick up right where I left off. Easy McPeasy. Ooh, that one came out a lot better than the last turn. So scary. So scary. Looks good though. Nice and tight. I got plenty of orange thread. Went to the store with my numbers, matched it right up. Proud of myself. Sometimes I'm not that accurate. This looks pretty good. I tell you what, after a long, hard day at work or before, like today's shift, or even just to kind of sit and chill, I really like doing this stuff. That's why I took it up. Plus, like, me and the Philadelphia Flyers go hand in hand. I grew up in Vermont. I used to watch John LeClaire, who's a Vermont native from St. Albans, play all the time. And used to go to his events where he would sign autographs. So it was very special for me to kind of see him. So the Flyers, plus they were good back in the day. Like, they were fantastic. And they never won a cup with the Mikhail Rimberg, Eric Lindros, and LeClaire line. Paul Coffey was on the team for a little bit there. Of course, Ron Hextall in that. Love Hextall. That's why I'm making his jersey. What a brutal guy. Scored a goal. To just duke it out. I remember my father and I went to a playoff game in Tampa. And it was during the playoffs. We sat there in the stands doing the Hextall curse. Hextall, Hextall. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. Ooh, another one. Nice and close to the black. Yeah, this is going to turn out well. Taking my time with this one. Number one, because I'm making a video. I don't want to make a fool of myself more than I already am. Like I said, I'm not a pro at this. I'm just trying to figure this out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. You know, don't be afraid to try new things. It's okay to teach yourself stuff. You don't always have to go to school or get a certification to know something. Just kind of dink with it. Oh, yeah. Yep. The first one's always the hardest. Cool. Kept the tension on that. So if the thread gets a little loose, what you could do is pull up a little bit on the top of the machine, and that tightens it up. But this is staying nice and tight. I'm not moving around too much. Once you get the jersey in there, it moves around a lot. Perfect. This one's a straight shot. I'm gonna do a little pro, see if I can expedite the process. As long as I use my measurements, I'll be okay. Like if I need to, I can blow a jersey out in probably an hour and a half. As long as I use the guides to what they need to be done. Oh yeah, that's nice. I like that. I like how the orange comes out. Oh yeah. Last one, all the way to the corner. Where's my good cheese? It's like a stick. You always have that one good stick. There we go. Perfect. And in the corner. Boop. Seal it up right at the end there. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Cool. Boop. So we got that. Cut that right off at the corner there. Off the excess, so looks cool, looks tight, no pull. So if you pull the string underneath too far, sometimes it can loosen this up, but that's nice and tight. Like that came out pretty cool. And you can see that's where we ended up connecting the two. So what I'll do is I'll just take that, kind of sear it so nothing gets loose. Like that looks awesome. All right, cool. So let's spin it to win it. Okay, we got our jersey. All right. Well, try to get as flat as the platform as physically possible here. Now, I got this little baby. Figured this little trick out not too long ago. I can't remember if I go from the top or from the bottom. We're gonna go from the top. So it makes it nice and flat. Yay! So, what are you doing in there? Oh, never noticed that before. There's another layer of fabric underneath. It's kind of cool. All right, so top to bottom, nice and even there. This looks pretty cool. I like that. And numbers are always like a typical length from each other. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to Measure the length of this jersey here. So it's about 12 inches down. So what I will do, let's go back to the jersey. 12 inches right there. I think that's too far. So since it's my own jersey, I'm going to do it about the 11th mark. So right where that fabric begins, believe it or not. And the fabric isn't level to the fabric. Well, it's pretty close, actually. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to cheat. Cool. So I'm going to put that right there. And then what I'm going to do afterwards is I'm going to reinforce this one too. And that's where this one will end up. So yeah, that's not completely even with the top there. So I'm just going to offset it so it lines up with the, let's kind of eyeball it. Perfect. Excellent. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to do one letter at a time, one number at a time. I don't get ahead of myself. Kind of take that. Go just like that. Fantastic. All right. Just going to let the iron cool up. So I can show my proof. Got my John LeClair autographed jersey sitting right next to my workbench there. May have a future project patch underneath it, may not, I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen with that one. So again, like I'm all about it. So I'm just going to let that warm up a little bit. Pretty cool. Do, 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 do. So what we're going to do afterwards is we are going to switch the threading out for black. I'm going to take my orange out. I'm going to put my black back in. Can you tell I'm just stalling until that's warm? It's okay. It's okay. At least I can show you a little tidbit. My wife and sister-in-law showed me mostly the basics of sewing. Of course, I always drop the spool. No worries. Okay, so the bottom spool is always tricky because if you wrap it the other way, you get like this weird ball cut, which I've actually used to reinforce some pond hockey jerseys. It adds a ton of stitching to it. So we're good, just like that. Excellent. And again, before you start stitching anything, just make sure your stitch is exactly how you want it. We got number 6 there. Loose as a goose. Loosey goosey, what is that? Where did that come from? Oh yeah, yep, good thing I tested that out, huh? What did it do? Oh, broke. Ta-da! And that, folks, is why we always test before we do. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's see how that goes. What is it doing? I'm good. Playing slack. Got the nice peaks there. Had to calibrate itself halfway through. Good. Good, good, good. All right, back to the number. you take a tissue paper, and I love numbers because you just take it and go boop right onto it. Make sure, yep, perfect. Got my flat surfaces underneath it. So if you put patches on, it's not a flat surface. I figured out that, especially on the back numbers. If you have your crest in the front, it actually makes an indent of the crest. So that is something you definitely do not want to do. So nice and firm. I'll let you know when it's hard enough to do. Oh yeah, so that went really well. Yes. I like using the tissue paper. There are some jerseys based on the material that will discolor sometimes because of it. And the tissue paper keeps it straight off it, especially if it has a dirty iron. Some dust or some dirt gets onto it, it can ruin the whole project. Press down on the edges. Oh yes, oh yes. Nice and hot. We're gonna let that cool for a minute. Make sure whatever you put underneath there is heat resistant. Because God forbid you put something on there underneath it, like I don't know, like a piece of cardboard with something on it, or God forbid something flammable. It won't end well, will it? Cool. Looking pretty awesome. I like it. I like the way it looks. Let that cool down. Looking fancy. Trying to see if I have another viewpoint, another snapshot of the Hextall jersey here. Show you guys. I have tons of cards from the 90s. Trying to keep them all straight. That's completely different, sorry. Some examples of Flyers jerseys in here. I don't think I have anything this far back, though, to be honest with you. Paul Coffey. It's getting cooler. I don't want to sew it too quick. Wow, look at that one trying to run away. Whoa, what happened there? That looks like a travesty. Obviously that was still, whoa, something melted, huh? It's okay, cards are still in good shape. Look at that Eric Lindros School Crown card. Heck yeah. Yeah, I really don't have any examples of this jersey. Oh, there he is. There's the Hextall jerseys. There we go. There we go. There we go. Ron Hextall Philadelphia Flyer jersey. Oh, we've got a couple Islander ones in there. But still nothing in this particular jersey. You see some of the mid-90 ones in there. The heck on Hextall. I like those portrait cards. Those portrait cards are really neat. Don't know if you can see that. The portraits. That's a little bit closer to the era that we're doing. That one's in 1991, but that was issued in 1991. It wouldn't have these emblems on it. We were looking for a 1992 card. Those ones are both 1991s, I do believe. All right, cool enough. So let's get it on the sewing machine and reinforce. Okie dokie. Now, I may have mentioned this before, but arms and shoulders are my biggest nightmares. Okay. Arms and shoulders, knees and toes. 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 See, it's still not quite on their path for heat-wise, but that's okay. Because I think I can reinforce it exactly where it is. So, when you're doing the arms, be careful that you don't have any fabric underneath it. I did that on the black patch, and I had to go through, rip it out, backtrack it on, which isn't too much of a big deal. But it's just a time killer, you know? There we go. Overzealous with the foot pedal there. Let's get that piece of fabric out of there. There we go. Cool. All right. Now, I don't mind stitching right into the majority of the open black parts because it gives a good reinforcement to the patches. Whereas, like, the first layer I put on, not so crucial. Like, it holds a patch to the patch itself, but man, this next layer is crucial because it gets caught on everything. If you don't get into a corner, you got corners that are flipping up all the time. It can break your thread if you get caught on something. And God forbid you wear it on the ice. Oh my gosh. This section of it ripped out just by playing with it. That's why with some of my pond hockey jerseys, I reinforce the stitching. Give some rugged thread in there. Kind of like what they use on like work jackets. And we're gonna get nice and close to that corner. Perfect. Because corners are muy importante. Turn off my iron before I burn the house down. Do, 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 do. Perfect. Cool. Nice and tight. All the way down. Go at a different speed because there's not so many sharp turns and corners. Okay, nice and tight. Perfect. Cool. Now I feel a piece of fabric underneath there. I'm just gonna weigh it out, pull it out. Perfect. Last thing I need to do is that again today. Awesome. Almost to the end. Again, check for clearance. Ooh. A little off the rails there. It's okay, not too bad. Ooh. Might want to touch that up later on, but you can definitely tell a difference in between where you go fast and where you go slow. But since this is the external portion of it, this is fine. All right. Flip it around. Yeah. Plenty of fabric underneath there now. So we're getting close to the edge. There we go. Perfect. Oh, no. All right, so far, what I'll do is snip that. Snip that. Perfect. Out it goes. Pull my fabric up. Perfect example of me screwing up. No worries, though. Easy fix. Easy fix. Into the corner. Excellent. All right. So one more turn after this, and we are done with this letter. Number. Letters and numbers mix today, huh? All right. Cool. Make it tight. All the way to the end. And then triple punch it there. And we're good. All right. So that is my number. And of course, I got to do it 3 more times after this. Got the other numbering on. Try not to waste any string along the way. Huh? Pretty cool. Pretty close. I like it. Only got one screw up. Back up a little bit. And there was one part around the inside there, but it actually looks pretty good. So even though I went in closer to the white, when it tightened up pretty even. Oh yeah, looks pretty good right there. So that's awesome. Like I said, I'll have to do that another couple times, but I'm not gonna make a video about that. So the next video you see, I don't think it's gonna be tomorrow. It'll probably be later on in the week. Is the name template, and then we'll move on to the numbers from there. So pretty outstanding. I like how it's coming out right now. Awesome. All right, we'll see you next time.